Welcome, A2K. So, do you want to start off by introducing yourself to our listeners?
Hi, my name is Abdullah Al Salah, but I go by A2K as a stage name. And I'm half Saudi Arabian, half Irish, but currently based in the UK because I'm in my final year of studying media production at Coventry University. But when I'm not in the UK, I'm residing in Bahrain, which is a small island next to Saudi Arabia, just in the Middle East.
Now, if you could just give them a little summary of the style of music that you create.
So the type of music I create, I guess the most like basic version, or the basic genre of it would be rap. But the thing is, within rap, there are a bunch of different subgenres. So there's trap rap, there's the more lyrical rap, you kind of have the storytelling side of it. So I'd say I don't like to limit myself to making one specific genre or subgenre of music. I try and be as creative and as versatile as possible because I draw inspirations from all different types of genres of music, not even just specifically rap.
So, how did you get into creating music?
I got into making music when I was a kid, actually. Since I was a child, I've been playing instruments. I picked up my first instrument in year two, and that was a violin. I played violin until year four, and then I dropped it in year four, and then I picked up guitar, and carried that on until year seven, and then in year seven, I picked up drum lessons as well. So, yeah, and then, so that's like my instrumental background, but I started making music, creating music in the sense of like recording rap music and writing my own lyrics at the age of 13, actually. And then I started releasing music in 2015. Yeah, that's when I started releasing music on SoundCloud. So I've been doing it for about 7 years, I'd say, like professionally.
Impressive, but I'm sure our listeners are wondering, how did you choose the stage name of A2K?
The name A2K came about, actually, it's a funny story. It actually came from Club Penguin. So the way that it came about is I needed a username for Club Penguin. I couldn't think of one when I was a kid. So I asked my mom for some help. And basically, it comes from my social media handles, which is A2000 Dublin. And what that means is A is the first letter of my name, which is Abdullah. And then 2000 is the year I was born, and Dublin is where I was born. So when social media came about and I started using that for all my social media handles and everything, because I'm Arab, I'm Saudi Arabian, I lived in the Middle East, everyone was like, oh, you actually from Dublin and whatever. So people started calling me Dublin, and then they started calling me A2000, and then they just shortened it to A2K. So that's how A2K came about. So yeah, A2K means A2000.
Do you have a method in how you create and write your music?
So there's no specific methodology or way that I create a song, but I feel like there's somewhat of like a routine thing that I do, which is when I get a beat that I'm looking to write lyrics to, I'll sit there, I'll play the beat, and I'll kind of zone out, leaning back in my chair, playing it over some speakers or some headphones that are really like solid volume, like quite high. And I'll just see what the beat's really speaking to me, what kind of flows I can hum that, that go well with the beat, or what kind of melodies I hum that, that fit the beat well. So, and then from there, like, of course, I'm closing my eyes while I'm doing all of this, and I just let my mind kind of paint vivid pictures of what kind of energy and what kind of vibe the beat is speaking to me, and then I'll start constructing my lyrics from there. So yeah, that's my methodology with creating music. Unfortunately, there's no like set routine of like, okay, sit there and I do this, that, this, and that. But yeah, I feel like the best way to create music is to allow it to come organically and just kind of build on the creativity and the rush of creativity that you get, or inspiration that you get while you're making it, and just making sure that doesn't stop.
So, what's the journey of creating and sharing your music been like so far?
So I started sharing my music on SoundCloud, actually, is where I posted my first song in 2015. And I started sharing it and just like sharing it amongst friends on like my Snapchat, my Instagram, and whatever. And I was getting quite a good buzz. I'd say like in a week or two, I'd be getting like 2,000 plays, just from like people on the island and like other friends that I have who've like relocated to other places within the world. And my journey has been it's been quite a journey so far. And like the beautiful thing about it, or the thing that I find the most beautiful about it, is that it's just the beginning. But the journey has been so hard, so tough. Of course, there have been many sleepless nights trying to master and, engineer a track to make sure it sounds as like the best that it can be. Staying in the studio for sometime days on end, just writing lyrics and, trying to figure out like a kink in a song, or like the lyrics, just trying to get that done. Of course, many arguments with me and my team as well, corrupted format, creative differences and whatnot. But the most important thing is that, you don't let those kind of things stop you, and you use that as inspiration. You kind of long for that, and you wait for that struggle, and you want it, because it'll, that through that struggle, you'll become better, you'll become wiser, you'll learn a lot from that struggle, and, you'll come out as a better version of yourself. So I love the journey, and I'm so excited for whatever is left to come, for the build up, for the climb up, for the climax and everything. So yeah, journey has been absolutely brutal but beautiful at the same time. I feel like that's the best way to put it.
You mentioned corrupted format just now. What is that?
So corrupted format is basically what corrupted format is it's my media collective. And basically what we do is, as an artist, one thing that of course, aside from getting studio time and having your own recording setup, I feel like a very important thing is to have a whole media team with you. So in the sense of people who can shoot music videos for you, graphic designers to do cover art, photographers to take pictures, of course, because social media content is a very, very big thing, and you need a solid digital landing as an up-and-coming artist, so people can, they can familiarize themselves with you, they can put your music to a face and everything. So yeah, we basically, it's a group of 6 of us, and we all went to school together. We're all raised in Bahrain. And yeah, like I said, we have different specialities. So we've got a graphic designer, we've got a videographer, we've got photographers, we've got a fashion designer as well for merch. We have social media managers, and we have business and logistics managers. So yeah, we actually started in school. It was just a small idea that me and my graphic designer Diab actually had, and we said, yeah, why don't we form a little group of, we have a graphic designer, we can get a video editor, and like, a photographer and everything to make music and music videos and stuff, and like Instagram content or social media content as well. So yeah, it just started as a group of 2 of us actually, and then the group expanded to 4, and then to 5, and then to 6. So yeah, at the moment we're 6 people. And yeah, that's really and truly what corrupted format is. Actually, I feel like the best way to describe what corrupted format is to kind of go through not our mission statement, but like our kind of who are we section on our website that's coming soon. So basically, we're a group of Bahraini-raised creatives using our self-made platforms in order to bring more exposure and attention to local, underground, and underrated talent. As well, we're using it as a platform to push my music and to create our own brand. And basically, what we aim to do is to be the first fully Arab collective to make it in the Western mainstream media scene, or music scene specifically. So I feel like that's the best way to describe what corrupted format is.
You said earlier that you're a university student. What's it been like to juggle the two?
The experience of creating my music at university and juggling it, as well as, my university career, I'd say, it's been tough. It's been tough, but it's been very easy at the same time. It's been tough at times where it's crunch time, it's deadline season, and let's say like it's hard to get creativity in those kind of situations, or at those kind of times. It's hard to gain creativity because you're just so focused on the work and the academic side of it. And as well, just trying to, especially through the pandemic, a lot of things have been put to a halt. A lot of things have been paused or delayed for a later date, or once the pandemic has kind of eased up. So the experience of creating music and juggling my university work at the same time has been quite tough, but it's been such a beautiful thing as well, because university has added so much to or being at university has added so much value to my music, because I've been in contact with so many creative people, so many different artists from different backgrounds creating different kinds of music, so many talented producers. I actually met one of my closest friends, and also one of my favorite producers of the current generation, Chris East. Shout out Chris East. I met him on my course in second year, and that was a beautiful pairing. Me and him have created 4 or 5 songs together on streaming platforms. So yeah, university has been, juggling it. It's been tough, but it's been a beautiful thing at the same time, because so many new connections have been made.
Have you ever found yourself struggling with self-doubt? And if you have, how have you gotten past that?
I have doubted myself a lot. Self-doubt is a very, very big thing, especially as someone who suffers from a lot of anxiety and suffers from some mental health issues as well. Self-doubting myself or second-guessing myself has been a big thing. And I feel like the best way to get over that and continue creating is literally to try and track those thought patterns. And once you notice yourself getting into that thought pattern, you just have to do whatever you can to break away from it. You just have to track that thought pattern and stop it as soon as you can, and just continue. And, a lot of my self-doubt or a lot of my second guessing with my art comes from, whether people will like it. And I sit there and I think, I'm like, listen, really and truly, I got to remind myself and humble myself. I don't make music for other people. At the end of the day, I make music because this is my art. This is my therapy. This is my, some people decide, like I said, I suffer from some mental health issues. Some people decide to go see therapists, and, that's the route they find is best for them. Or some people decide to meditate or do whatever. This is my meditation. This is my therapy. This is, the way that I express myself. So really and truly, I kind of got to humble myself, and I got to realize, or remind myself that I make music for me, and I make music because it's the thing I enjoy doing the most. It's the only thing I see myself doing for the rest of my life. So I shouldn't be too concerned about what other people think. I should be concerned on creating the best art that I can create, and the rest will follow.
Any tips or insight you'd give to others wanting to pursue music or a passion?
That's some advice that I would give to, others wanting to pursue music or another passion, or, come into moments of self-doubt or, anxiety. I just say, really and truly, just humble yourself and remember the reason why you started creating, and that goes with any form of creative art. It doesn't necessarily have to be music. It can be anything. Just whenever you find a moment of self-doubt, just humble yourself and remind yourself, why do you do this? Why did you start doing this? You did it for you, and you're doing it for you because it's what you enjoy doing. So really and truly, fuck what other people say, But yeah, another piece of insight that I would give to someone who maybe wanted to pursue music or another passion is really and truly just be yourself, because authenticity is a big thing, and people can sense whether you're authentic through your art or not. And, that kind of shit doesn't go unnoticed. So just be yourself and try and better yourself in every way that you can. Always be open to learn and, to experience and to change. And mistakes is a beautiful thing. A lot of people are scared to make mistakes, but I think mistakes is a beautiful thing because it means you learn through the process, and you learn from it. I feel like that's one of the most beautiful things about life, is the fact that we have the chance to make these mistakes, but learn from them at the same time. And I feel like that's the most important thing. It's not about making a mistake. It's about learning from it. So yeah, just be yourself. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and just keep pushing no matter how tough the storm gets. But yeah, that's the advice that I would give to people.
So if you could go back in time and tell yourself something, what words of wisdom would you give yourself?
If I could go back in time and tell myself something when I first started this journey, it would be just wait and trust in the process. Because what I've achieved so far is nothing compared to what I want to achieve. But at the same time, it's nothing compared to what I thought I would be achieving at this time. So just stay humble, stay yourself, keep pushing no matter how tough shit gets. Just keep going and just trust in your process. Do right by yourself and by those around you and the world, and God will follow through and do right by you. I feel like that's the most important thing.
You've got many great songs, which I struggle to pick a favourite. What would you say is your favourite song you've released and why?
My favorite song that I've ever released, it's actually a mix between two songs. Actually, I'd say three. Currently released, I have Lockdown Freestyle, which was produced by Chris East, who I mentioned earlier. Lockdown Freestyle, I feel like, is one of my... Lockdown Freestyle is, I feel, one of my most lyrical songs, and I feel like it's probably my best written song, although it's only a minute and a half. And a lot of people have been telling me, like, oh, I can't believe it's only a minute and a half. You should have given us more. You should have given me more. Like, it was so good. But, yeah, even though it was only a minute and a half, I still feel like it was one of my better produced songs. Not just production-wise, but in the sense where I feel like the beat was, one of the best beats. Like, the beat selection was one of the best to complement my voice and my style. The lyricality and the technicality of the song itself, I feel like, is very, very high caliber. I say the same thing as well for my other song, 7 a.m., which was produced by my boy Carson 2X. That's another beautiful song, another really, really personal song to me, because it actually took me around 6 months to write that song. And I know some people might be hearing this and saying, oh, wow, 6 months it took you to write one song. But yeah, I was going through a really tough time in my life, my personal life. And because of that, I had a very big creator's block and writer's block. So yeah, that's one of my most personal songs, and it's really and truly just that and Lockdown Freestyle are just me putting my pain and my emotion and everything into a song, and I feel like that's really well reflected with the song as well. You can hear it, and so yeah, those are two of my favorite songs, and then the third song that I say is another one of my favorite songs that I've released is Unchained. Now, Unchained was a very spur of the moment thing. It was also produced by my boy Chris East. Shout out Chris East for real. And yeah, it was a very, very different vibe. It's different to anything that I've ever released. And honestly, it was so much fun making that song in the studio. And I remember the reason why it was called Unchained is because before I recorded it, I'd had the lyrics written, but I didn't know how I wanted to record the song and like the cadence and the way that I performed like the song on the microphone while recording it. So I just watched the Django before recording it, before getting into the studio session, and that's actually what inspired me to just kind of come on with this. I don't care, like, not give a f, not give a fuck. Sorry, like, just kind of big, like, just it's me, just kind of make your presence be felt and be known through the song. And it was a very experimental kind of way of recording as well. I messed around with my cadences and my pitches, like recording the song and, saying the lyrics, especially the hook. And I feel like you can hear that, especially with comparison to my other songs. But yeah, it was so much fun to make. It was such an experimental song, something so different, but I feel like I did it really well. And the beat selection was just excellent. And yeah, I feel like I murdered that one as well. But yeah, I feel like those three are my favorite songs. Unfortunately, I can't pick one. But yeah, those are my three favorite songs that have been released. But I have a bunch of other favorites that are unreleased music. So I got catalogs on catalogs of unreleased music. But that's another conversation for another time. But yeah.
Okay, so we'll be patient and wait for that unreleased music. And our listeners, if you want to go and check out any of A2K's socials or listen to his music, we've got the links for you right inside the magazine and on our website.